Hello everyone, and thank you all for your attention and for participating in this stream. This is traditional Sunday live stream community chat, in which of course I will share some news, and also most importantly I will be actively engaged with the community as many members of our community, and I will try my best to give you informative answer if I see a question. Although let me first check if everything is work properly. Seems like I'm online now. So yes, let's start. Today is 21st of July. Now it's 9 o'clock in the evening Moscow time. I'm Levan Gudadze. If by chance some new members are watching this video and their first time on the channel, and yes, this is as I said, traditional Sunday live stream. I have some announcements to make. Change programming a little bit. And dear friends, today there was some issues with the internet, or there was some issues with the YouTube, unfortunately, and sorry if at some point live stream will end because of the issues with internet or connection with YouTube, but something is going on and it's not my fault, dear friends. I have nothing to do with it. I was even thinking today at some point that, I don't know, maybe YouTube will be disconnected in Russia from internet, or will be slowed down so much so that it will be impossible to use YouTube properly. I don't know. It seems like something is happening, but I did not yet figure out what. And I still remember statement of Peskov, press spokesman of the Russian president, when he was asked about YouTube about a week ago. He said that Moscow has no plans to block this platform. So maybe it's just technical issues. Time to time, every platform experiences some issues, and especially nowadays when there is a worldwide difficulties with their many services due to this glitch in Windows programming or something. So yes, I was talking about announcements, and first of all, I think to no longer make Wednesday live streams as in a format that I was making it. So I will leave this community chat for Sunday, and even though next week gonna be very busy, but in idea I will try to make second news updates as a live stream between 2 and 4 or 5 o'clock Moscow time in the afternoon. And during those live streams, if I receive any questions from members of our community through PayPal, Boosty, Patreon, I will highlight those questions. Last 10-15 minutes of the live streams will be Q&A part every time I make these second updates. And if I somehow did not manage to answer to the question during the live stream today, I will answer next day, so I will don't miss any commentary or question. As long as question or commentary is written with respect to everybody. It can be about any topic. I'm not gonna censor nobody, obviously, because I know there are certain topics that are, difficult ones, and not everyone may like the comment of member of our community or question, but I mean, this is the life. We don't really like always what we see or hear, but it's okay. So yes, that's one announcement. Maybe towards the end of next week, I will start testing this format. And also, I forget, there was some other stuff I wanted to share with you, but I just forget about it. So next time I will say it. Okay, let's start our stream now, main part. And as always, when I start my work, first post is on my Telegram. Even though I am trying to be more active on Twitter, probably it will take quite a time before I will find out how that Twitter works. I'm not really familiar with that platform. I know it has huge potential, and it can be very helpful for a project, but probably I need more time to get to nuances there. But Telegram, I'm working on Telegram quite a long time now, and therefore I'm always active here. And first post is always greetings, of course. Then I share this information that Vladislav Volodin, after visiting Nicaragua, went on a working visit to Cuba. At Havana airport, State Duma speaker was greeted with a warm reception. It is great, by the way, that more and more Russian high-ranking officials are visiting Cuba, and I really hope that Russia and other BRICS member states will help Cuba and people of Cuba as much as possible to overcome all the difficulties that people are facing there due to absolutely illegal US embargo that is taking place for decades and decades now. Also, by the way, interesting statements from J.D. Vance, Trump's running mate, when he it's better to basically listen to this statement.
That when we go to war, we punch and we punch hard, but being cautious and not trying to get America involved in every far-flung corner and conflict of the world. Sometimes, my friends, it just is none of our business, and we ought to stay out of it. That's not radical, that's common sense.
So, yes, Vance was talking about not participating in all of the conflicts worldwide, because sometimes, and maybe even often, it's none of the US business. That's what he basically said, and in this particular case, I have to agree, but right now, dear friends, because I'm talking about J.D. Vance, I will share with you a question from that I receive on Boosty, and the question is that hi Levan, find below the link to an interview of important investigative journalist Whitney Webb by Jimmy Dore. It's not a brief clip, but is packed with facts very few people know and show us what to expect. It's a big ask, but if you watch it, can you comment on it and how you think it affects the coming Trump presidency and his policy towards Ukraine, Russia? And by the way, Jimmy Dore, I recommend all of you, dear friends, to watch Jimmy Dore's last episode. He had a guest, this investigative journalist, Whitney Webb, and they had a very interesting, informative conversation. Many things I did not know myself, and I learned from the episodes of this conversation that I watched. I did not had the time to watch entirely this segment, but well, it was very informative, and unfortunately, and it was about connections, by the way. It was about many things, but also about connections that J.D. Vance has with certain people in US, certain influential people in US that are connected with the military-industrial complex, with the APAC, and some other influential groups. And well, to answer this question, what can I say? It's unfortunate. I commented early on when J.D. Vance was nominated as a running mate of the Trump, but at some point, yes, one may say he is not a Russophobe, and if he had any influence over the White House as administration, he may push towards de-escalation with Russia. But in other hand, very same Vance went on crazy mode on Iran and on China. So therefore, if we are talking about global stability, global security, well, I really have some doubts. I really have some doubts that Trump's administration will be more peaceful than Biden's administration. If anything, Trump's administration may be even more hawkish, because they're not going to de-escalate in Ukraine in a day or two. Obviously, it will take a long time, but they may very well escalate with Iran and even China before Ukrainian crisis will end. So, I mean, I cannot see future, isn't it? But from what I hear in that conversation between Jimmy Dore and that investigative journalist, Whitney Webb, right? Well, I don't really have much reasons to or for optimism. I was skeptical initially, even before I find out about connections that J.D. Vance had with the deep state, with the very powerful groups in US that are pulling the strings. And I was skeptical because exactly because of the influence of the deep state or the political class, deep state, military, industrial complex, and so on. And after watching Jimmy Dore's show, I definitely didn't change my mind. Unfortunately, it is highly likely that Trump-Vance tandem will be even more dangerous for world stability than Biden's administration. It may sound crazy, but you know, we will find out. We will find out. And to continue topic of questions, by the way, I received question also on Boosty from Candida Schmiles, same person that sent me one question, and in this question she was asking about Crimea, and she wrote a comment. I will read her, if I may. Interesting comment, by the way. And then an alternative or additional question for tonight. In this morning show, you mentioned the sending of Crimea in 1954. It was actually one of their aspects of regional reorganization initiated soon after Khrushchev assumed the presidency of the USSR. Khrushchev had before he was brought to Moscow, being governor of Kiev. He was the protege of Lazar Kaganovich, who was after Beria, the third most powerful man in Soviet Union. Lazar himself and his brother Mikhail had also been a governor of Kiev, which for all intents and purposes means head of the Kievan mafia. This had everything to do with why Khrushchev gave Crimea to Ukraine. Do you agree? Well, different theories are circulating why Khrushchev came up with this idea. Official version is that well, it was indeed an organization in the Soviet Union, and Crimea, development of Crimea will be more easier done if it will be part of Ukrainian Soviet Socialist Republic, because there was a channel should be built, water channel, that was eventually cut, by the way, by Kiev regime after 2014. And there was some other reasons also. There this official narrative, and there are some other versions also. Khrushchev clearly is connected with Ukraine. This is undoubtedly, but if you ask my opinion, I did not research this topic that much to know for whom Khrushchev was working or what was a drive behind his thought process. So therefore, I just don't know. It very well might be that he was just part of this, I don't know, anti-Russian conspiracy. Who knows? Who knows? Lenin clearly was part of anti-Russian conspiracy, right? He was a German asset. He was financed by German secret services, by the way, when he was sent to Russian Empire. It's a historical fact, by the way. Some people may not like it, but it's historical. And his task was to destabilize Russian Empire so that Russia will withdraw from First World War. And unfortunately, Lenin succeeded in this. Then revolution happened, Soviet Union, before even this, after emperor was removed from the power, this temporary government signed up for this humiliating agreement with the Germany, and then Bolshevik revolution take place, and all those bunch of gangsters and the criminals, and majority of Bolsheviks were, by the way, gangsters, criminals, and assets of the Western secret services. Majority. I'm not saying all of them, but majority of leadership was exactly that. They start creating all sorts of anti-Russian. They start operating in anti-Russian sense big time, and they create Ukraine on Russian land. And then Stalin give to Ukraine Western territories, modern Western Ukraine, that was taken from the Poland, Hungary, and Romania. And finally, Khrushchev, under whatever pretext, gifted Crimea to Ukraine. So I will not be surprised at all if sometime in the future we will find out that all this stuff was a conspiracy from the very beginning against Russia, to take down Russia. Maybe that was it. I don't know. I just don't know. Historians have to study all this stuff and connect the dots, right? And when it comes to questions, I also receive question on Patreon under one of the recent extra contents, extra videos. I see this question, Levan: how do they keep Russia so clean? Or I should ask her, how do they allow the US to look so dirty? This is irony, obviously. Member of our community is sad that in US, in many areas of US, situation is quite difficult, while here in Russia, I mean, when people see videos, by the way, my videos of other people from the streets, just ordinary walk and talk, and then when they see that, you know, what, streets are nice, there is no ruins nowhere, no homeless people every like 5 to 10 meters, no needles on the streets all around, and that kind of stuff. People are little surprised maybe, and also upset that in their own homelands, in their own countries, situation is a little more difficult, which is sad, obviously. And when it comes to US, I spoke several times that even though I never been in US, from what I see on internet, San Francisco, Los Angeles, New York, many other towns that are mainly run by Democrats, by coincidence or maybe not so coincidence, are really like hell on earth. it's not safe. It's it's a mess. While and I have no answer for that problems. It's U.S. society, of course, have to work on this. But when it comes to Russia, by the way, well, I don't know. You should see me. I smoke cigarettes, right? And sometime I may walk with a cigarette. I just smoke it, and I have to throw this end part, right? Filter. And sometimes I may walk like 200-300 meters before I see this bin, so that I can throw it. It's not because of the some fines, but because that's how it's supposed to be, right? So we are trying to keep our towns and cities tied, because we are living here, right? So more nicer our cities and the villages are, better for everybody. So that's all. It's no one is forcing nobody to not make mess. And unfortunately, there are some people that don't really care. I mean, we have people also that they may just eat I don't know, ice cream and just throw this paper somewhere. There are people like that everywhere, but thankfully, majority will not do that. Majority will walk 100 meters if necessary, or 200 like I do quite often, to throw garbage into bin. And that's why our cities are pretty, by the way. That's my answer. I don't know. It's just quite simple stuff for us, because it's a social responsibility, isn't it? We just in Western world, by the way, everything about rights, isn't it? And everyone is talking about rights. I have these rights and that rights, and I very rarely see anybody speaking about obligations of the citizen, because we have not just rights, we have obligations before our fellow citizens, right? Before our country. And we understand this here, and that's why we probably behave in a certain way. But I'm not quite sure Western societies really understand this. They may forget about it. Many people, not all, obviously, but many people, and results are quite visible in many ways. Also, by the way, let me check. Let me check here if I see questions. Of course, I will try to answer. After all, this is first of all community chat, and only then news summary, because every one of us are probably a little tired with this news. But that's how we are built, I guess. We need to know as much as we can what is going on in this world. And once again, thank you all, dear friends, for your attention, for participating in the stream, for comments, questions, and many thanks to all the members of our community who will join later on or will watch this live stream in a recording. And if you have a question, please write it in a capital letters or capital Q before question, so that I will easily notice it. I see a question now. Bencher Dent is asking, how do you see the current affairs in Bangladesh? Is it an attempt by the deep state for regime change? Well, I have news today. Later on, I will get to that post on my Telegram when one of the opposition leaders, I can't remember now, addressed writer post on Twitter X, it was, and he basically addresses first of all U.S. State Department and Anthony Blinken for help. And by the way, I see some very disturbing videos from Bangladesh there is a brutality from both sides, as far as I understand. There, people are very angry, and I'm afraid this young crowd is manipulated by Western assets, US assets. And yes, in my personal opinion, this is clearly US PSYOP, US operation to overthrow government in Bangladesh, or if they will not succeed with overthrowing government, to put some pressure so that Bangladeshi leadership will act according to orders from Washington. That's what is going on. Yet again, I'm no expert in Bangladeshi internal politics. I know nothing about it really, but from what I see, that's the impression that I have. That yes, this is clearly CIA. Behind this whole unrest is the CIA. Protesters may have a reasoning to protest, but when you are starting to kill police officers, by the way, that's something different, you know. You are clearly instigating further escalation, right? You don't want negotiations. You don't want your demands to be fulfilled by government. You want overthrow government. Otherwise, you will protest, you will have your demands, and there is no way you're gonna start killing police officers, right? And I saw today this brutal video, by the way, on internet when two policemen were beaten to death by this crazy crowd. Is it normal? No, it's not. And explanations that, you know what, police also use brutal force. Police has legal means to use force. That's why we have police. Because if crowd acts crazy, then police will get in and do whatever is needed to do so that society is safe, so that country is safe. Otherwise, why we need police at all, right? So you cannot compare actions of police with the actions of crowd. And for now, at least, I did not hear that Bangladeshi government was killing its own citizens like left and right, like it's nothing. It's just last like several days, last week, isn't it? This week that this craziness started. And formally, yes, these protesters are demanding these gods to be these quotes to be removed, that veterans of this 1971 independence fight family members of those veterans will receive some positions in state institutions and stuff. Okay, I can understand their demand, but is this demand enough reason to start a regime change? Or it's just a preparation of the ground for that? I don't know. But in my personal opinion, this is CIA operation, by the way. This is CIA operation. Washington wants to put pressure on the Bangladeshi leadership, and also in India, by the way. Also in India. And this is a warning message for India also. And if you think CIA has no assets in India, oh, they do. They do, by the way. They have assets everywhere. Especially if Western funds are not cancelled. And they are able to finance all these NGOs and so-called media and stuff. You know? So yes, this is my answer. This is my understanding. Once again, I'm no way expert in Bangladeshi stuff. But when I see this letter of Bangladeshi opposition leader directed to many organizations and people, but first of all, State Department and Anthony Blinken, and then rest of it, including UN, well, that was clear to me that, you know what, this is CIA asset, man. That's all. This is CIA asset. In my personal opinion, and if it was up to me, if I can recommend something to Bangladeshi government, I will tell him, you know what, take them out. Take CIA assets out of the streets and prosecute them. As a CIA assets, as a Western assets. And put them in jail for life. So that everyone else will know what will happen to them if they will betray their own country and start working for US or any other country in this world. That's what I will do, man. Because in my personal opinion, if you start working for other country, you are traitor and you have no rights at all. You have no rights at all for anything. You are enemy of your people and deserve no mercy. In my personal opinion, by the way, you may disagree with me, but that's how I think, that's how I feel. Questions. Nidish Kumar is asking, hello Nidish, can BRICS create to share each other's expertise in particular sports to boost sports infrastructure and competitiveness overall in BRICS nations? Yes, they can and they should. Of course, they can and they should, and there are, of course, there is a BRICS games. This is a beginning, just the first steps, but more should be done. More should be done, and probably work is. Probably member states are working on this on these directions, and of course, there. Every country can offer expertise in this field or that field. It's maybe not just a sport, but any other field, right? And BRICS member states should, of course, create a platform when this expertise will be not just offered, but also received by countries that need it. So yes, BRICS is a great. BRICS should create great opportunity in that direction, and I believe some work is done in this field. Should be done. After all, just recently there was BRICS Games, isn't it? So if nothing is done, then hardly BRICS Games will be organized at all, right? So yes, some work probably is done, and more need to be done. That's why I said in today's first update that enough enlargement for BRICS for now. Let's work on the issues that BRICS member states are experiencing in terms of cooperation. There are some barriers. In some cases, there may be some additional legislation needed in certain countries so that this cooperation will reach our next levels. And therefore, let's organize better, and then open the door for new members, because as we all seeing, more and more countries want to join BRICS, and if you receive everybody, it will create chaos. It will create chaos, and it will not. Hardly it will be useful to any members, right? So yes, there are many issues, by the way, that should be resolved in BRICS, and will be resolved. I have no doubts about it, by the way. Some top minds in this world are working on this project to succeed, so they probably know what they are doing. Karon Tendov is commenting, hi all, question, how is that Trump is talking to everyone about peace and is talking to everyone except Putin? It seems disrespectful. It's like their peace conference. What is going on? Well, I guess at this point Trump don't want Russia Gate 2 to repeat itself, and therefore probably he will stay away from Russian topic even. Not just Russian president, but topic of Russia. He will try to stay away until before elections, probably, as much as he can. And once he is re-elected, well, then we will see. I really believe that Trump and Vance, they understand how dangerous it is to continue this escalation with Russia. And their statements, their previous statements clearly demonstrating that. So I have some hopes that we will see the escalation in Ukraine, but unfortunately, I'm afraid we will see big escalation in some other parts of this world during the Trump-Vance administration, if they will win, of course. So that's how I see their situation. Although, by the way, in today's update, I mentioned the statements of the Blinken when he said that Iran is like 2 weeks away to create a nuclear bomb and or to acquire military grade uranium. And well, that was, in my opinion, that was a very dangerous statement, especially now when Netanyahu's government is acting crazy and basically attacking just about everybody around him. And Blinken clearly give an opportunity, at least theoretical basement, to Netanyahu to conduct some aggressive moves towards Iran and then justify it with Washington's information that Iran was about to create a nuclear bomb. So we might see, I mean, huge escalation, for example, in Middle East, even before presidential elections will take place in US. That's how difficult situation really is, as far as I can tell. But when it comes to Trump, Putin, they will talk, most likely. If Trump is elected, there will be a conversation between Trump and Putin. But during the election campaign, he will most likely stay away from this, just to not give Democrats additional opportunity and the media outlets in the West to run again with this crazy narrative that Trump is somehow Russian asset or something. I mean, Russiagate, we all see Russiagate, isn't it? This total nonsense that Western media and Western politicians, especially in US, run for years. And some are continuing even until now to push this narrative that Trump is a Russian asset. So that's why he is not communicating with Putin. That's the only reason, in my personal opinion. And I think for very same reason, Putin will not call him. Putin can take a phone and call him. It's, I mean, it's okay, isn't it? But he will not, probably. Just because, hardly, I don't see a reason why Putin will want Trump to end up in this turmoil once again. Speaking the truth is commenting Biden is stepping down from Putin's race. Well, just before I start live stream, I read an article that Biden blaming Obama, by the way, for rebellion inside the Democrat establishment. He blamed Obama for working against him and forcing him out of race. And yes, there was expectations that Biden will make such a statement, and I don't know, maybe he said anything right now as I'm in live, as I'm making this live stream, but I expect he to withdraw. I expect from him to withdraw from race because he lost all the support, by the way. I mean, there is no way in such circumstances he will last for long. Thank you for comment, dear friends. Smoky Sally is commenting that Bangladesh college students have been struggling for justice for several years now and have been answered by live fire by police. Unfortunately, I know about this report. I see a report that police opened live fire against Bangladeshi demonstrators, among them students also. Which is sad, which is obviously sad, but yet again, I also see these videos, by the way, when these younger people in full crazy mode were beating these police officers to the death without mercy. And I don't think this is the way to go. I really don't, man. If you want to fight for to achieve some changes, then act a better way. But it seems like this crowd is being manipulated, including students, by the way, have been manipulated by some forces to conduct regime change or to impose additional pressure on Bangladeshi government. This is unfortunate, but I see this so many times in different countries when just the anger of the people because they are not happy with something being used by these groups, corrupt groups that are in many cases are working for outside force to achieve, their own interests in a country without any care for people that they are using and abusing in the process. And I'm afraid that's exactly what is happening with the Bangladeshi students. They are too younger. As every younger individual, they feel as if they are revolutionaries. They want some changes, and changes fast, rapid changes, and life is not working that way. When you are young, you may not realize that, but life is not working that way. And it is unfortunate. It is tragedy, by the way. It is tragedy, but these young people have been used by some groups that don't have any care about them. That's their situation as far as I can understand, dear friends. And I see this kind of stuff so many times. I see it in Georgia, by the way. I see it in Georgia many times. Just recently, Western ruling class, assets of the Western ruling class were trying to destabilize Georgia, isn't it? And who they were using? Youngsters, because it's easy to manipulate with youngsters, with students, because they are young, they are, rebellion, they have this character of rebellion. It's easy to manipulate with young people because they have no idea about anything really in that relatively young age. I was young also, and maybe I was thinking that, I know something now. But did I? I don't think so. We all been there, isn't it? And at the time, we all think that we know everything now, and we know what is good and what is bad, and we are in charge. But in reality, we are in charge of nothing. Usually, Nidish Kumar is commenting, Supreme Court of Bangladesh already removed the reservation quota, so I don't know why they still are protesting. Well, thank you for your information, Nidish. I did not even knew about it. I did not see a report about this news in Russian media. So yes, that's a legit question, isn't it? If that was the issue, then okay, go home now. Just go home now. If that was a real reason, and if those people have not been manipulated by some groups, some corrupt groups. You demanded this, you received this. Okay, government listened to you. Now go home, and let's rebuild whatever was destroyed. But they are not stopping. So you tell me, dear friends, what the hell is going on there? Is my understanding of the situation is wrong, or correct? Francis Sanchez is commenting, Biden is out of the race. You know the so Biden is out of the race. I guess this is like breaking news. Let me check, by the way. Oh, by the way, yes, Biden endorses Kamala Harris for U.S. president. Okay, there was expectations, and I also spoke about it, isn't it, in recent days, that on this weekend Biden may do something like that, and well, there we go. Biden is out. Welcome, Kamala, and dear friends. I don't know. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I still think Democrats may run with Kamala because they know, with whomever they're going to come up against Trump, they're going to lose. And therefore, they will go with Kamala. Of course, Hillary Clinton may have some ambitions and she may get involved in this some way. She may become running mate of Kamala. For example, if she wants to be in a government this badly or something, or she may try to become a candidate for presidency. But it does make sense in a way if Democrats will run with Kamala, because everyone knows with whomever they're gonna come up as a candidate, they're gonna lose most likely, and Kamala can take heat for this race. and this way Democrats can save their better candidates, possible candidates like Michelle Obama or Gavin Nunes or someone else for next term. Maybe that's exactly what is going to happen. So thank you, dear friends, for letting me know that Biden just endorsed Kamala Harris for U.S. President. So U.S. President Joe Biden has offered his full support and endorsement to Vice President Kamala Harris to be picked as a Democratic Party nominee for the upcoming elections. The president proclaimed his support on X, formerly Twitter, shortly after announcing their decision to drop out of the race. So yes, it's official and was expected, basically. So yes. Smoky Sally is commenting, Bangladesh students have no guns and no self-defense. Dear friend, they killed those policemen with wood in their hands. Did you see these videos, by the way? They beat to death one police officer. He was lying on the ground, and they beat hell out of another one. They almost cut the face of their person with the wood. They were just, and I mean, this is not the way to go, by the way. That's all I'm saying. And those students have been manipulated. They are just too young. They think they know what's going on, but they don't really. And that's it. It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy, by the way. I also see brutality against protesters also, and that's also tragedy, obviously. I have no how that say goes. I have no dog in this fight, is a writer say. So I'm for peace. That's all really. And when I see these actions, when I see some news, my understanding was that this is all this stuff is manipulated from outside, and most likely from Washington, from Langley, to be more precise, and probably Pakistani secret services also have something to do with it. I guess, this is my guess, by the way, but probably it's not just CIA, but MI6 also, because whenever you see CIA actions, MI6 is there, British intelligence service, and because we are talking about Bangladesh, former Pakistani territory, then I guess Pakistani secret services also are operating there, and maybe even I don't know, man. I don't want to go this far, but maybe even China has observing the situation, let's say this way, because we all know that China and India, unfortunately they don't really have the greatest relationships ever. And Pakistan and China, meanwhile, have a strategic partnership. So it's a complicated situation, but whatever is the case, dear friends, students there don't run nothing. They've been manipulated. This is a unfortunate and painful truth. That's what it is. They've been manipulated and used against their own country, against their own people. That's all. But they will never understand this, at least until they will grow up and start really analyzing situation. You may disagree with me, but Buncher Dent is commenting, it's news that Biden it's news that Biden had not lost an election in his political career. Maybe that's the case, by the way. He's a politician for I don't know, 4 or 5 decades now, or 6 decades. It seems like entire his life he spent in politics, and probably he was successful in these elections. He had good sponsors from deep state, let's say this way, and he was always winning. Karen Tendorf is commenting, did you know that Boris Johnson gave a speech and demanded Russia's unconditional surrender? Oh, really? I have no words. Well, okay. Boris Johnson, man, this guy is something, isn't it? I did not know about it, by the way. I read information and I spoke about it in the first update that Johnson said the Kiev regime would not be able to regain control over their territories in the 1991 borders, but will be able to regain control over the territories in 2022 borders, which is also nonsensical. Of course, Kiev regime would not be able to regain control over anything. But I did not know if he demanded Russia's unconditional surrender. So he is even more crazy than I was thinking about it. Okay. That's funny. It's a tragic and funny simultaneously. We are living in these crazy times when, unfortunately, it's a tragic comedy, isn't it? Francis Sanchez is commenting, Burma border shame operation due to China business corporations. Burma. I guess you are talking about Burma, isn't it? Burma border, same operations due to China business corporations. Sorry, I did not understand what you mean, but maybe there are some issues with on the border with Burma due to involvement of Chinese corporations. Maybe because China is, of course, very active in the region. Smoky Sally is commenting, great news that government quote has been removed. Most of the students against violence. Yes, I mean, they should, everybody is against violence, by the way. Unfortunately, students are easily manipulated. We all been there. We all went through some student activities, right? And probably all of us were thinking that we know, we are in charge, we know what is the best. And we only are like 17, 18, 20. What the hell we know at that age, really? If you are not genius of some sort, you know nothing. Not literally, but I mean, you don't really know much. But it's, you know, I know it now, but when I was young, like 18 or 20 or 21, probably I had a different opinion on that, right? And that's how students are. And that's why, unfortunately, it's quite easy to manipulate with the youngsters. And many do. As I said, just recently, we see it in Georgia, by the way, when many students from many universities went to protest alongside this so-called opposition, in reality Western assets. And I'm quite sure vast majority of them have no idea what is going on. Ben Chordent is commenting, China wanted a port in Bangladesh, which was refused. Hence their hand in this current issue, not ruled. Well, I mean, maybe that's why I mentioned China, dear friends, that it's a very difficult situation. It's a complex issue. I'm not expert in that region, obviously, but I know enough to understand that US might be involved, Pakistan might be involved. Whenever you mention US, most likely UK is there, and possibly some assets of other NATO member states. Australia, by the way, is actively working in that area. We should never forget about that. And China, of course. And if any country has nothing to do with this situation, and if any country wants things to be de-escalated as soon as possible, it's India, right? because Bangladeshi people are Indian people. I mean, Bangladeshi, Indian, Pakistani, they are all one people, in my understanding. Difference is just religion and some religious traditions, but roots of people are going back to same ancestry, right? Historically speaking. So, I mean, let's hope things will de-escalate, by the way. I mean, what can I say? It's sad that Bangladesh is undergoing all this ordeal. Nikos KN125 has a question. Levan, is the Rostov nuclear power plant okay? I saw a video that said radiation in the form of a cloud came out. No, dear friend. This information, this fake news was spread initially by Regime's propaganda, and then it went like wildfire on internet, and of course Western propaganda outlets and Western secret services help this propaganda to get spread. In reality, what happened is that a few days ago, it's too hot, by the way, here in Russia. Even in Moscow, like today and yesterday, okay, it's little less heat than past week or week before. It was too hot even here in Moscow, by the way. Can you imagine southern Russian regions? It was like, I don't know, man. It was too hot. Of course, consumption of electricity increased significantly, and therefore at some point energo system was jeopardized, stability of energo system. And when this happened, it was the first reactor of the Rostov nuclear power station was turned off by algorithm. It was not human decision. Algorithm, when realized that energo system is needs some stabilization, just turn off nuclear reactor. I'm not nuclear scientist, of course, but in my way, I will explain what happened. And next day, when the situation gets stabilized, this nuclear reactor, first of 4 or 5, was reconnected to energo grid again. And that's it, really. That's all. Nothing happened, by the way. But and about it, Russian media reported also. Russian media write about it that first reactor was turned off by algorithm. So can you imagine, by the way, we are talking about nuclear reactor. If something happened to nuclear reactor, if some radioactive cloud is moving here and there and everywhere, it should be evacuation of the like thousands, tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of people. And can you imagine that this can be hid from the people and no one makes single video or reporting or something? It's not possible. This is all fake, by the way. Absolute complete fake. Zaporozhye nuclear power plant is operating as usual. That's all. So don't trust those fake outlets, by the way. They give them opportunity, they will come up with any crazy story they can, create in their sick imagination, by the way. But in reality, Rostov nuclear power station is operating as usual. And by the way, heat is still very high in southern regions. And because of it, in some parts of southern Russia, there are blackouts. Just power lines in certain areas are not able to withstand this high demand on electricity because of this pressure. Can you imagine everyone is using these conditioners and their fans and just about everything to cool down a little bit? And of course, demand is high, and seems like region was not ready, even though it's southern Russia that's used to high temperatures, but this year probably, I don't know, something extraordinary is happening there. Because as I said, a few days ago, even here in Russia, by the way, heat was unbearable. For me even, and I am a southerner. By the way. I'm from Caucasus region originally, right? So I used to heat, but it was something, man. A couple of days ago. Now it's okay. I mean, it's like several degrees less, and it feels much better. So yes, no worries about Rostov nuclear power station. Nothing is happening there. And if you read or hear anything about some radioactive cloud or stuff, just not in market for yourself media outlet that you see this as a fake media outlet, as a fake news generator. That's all. Smokey Sally is commenting Pakistan is very manipulated by USA. US had Han removed from leadership. BS, he was talking to Putin. Oh yes, US of course wants to maintain its grip on Pakistan, especially because during the Han's leadership, relationships between Islamabad and Beijing was, reached a strategical level. And relationships are on a good level now also, but it was significantly different with Han's leadership, and US take him out, right? Washington did not like it at all, and they took him out and almost killed him, by the way. They tried to jail him, they tried to, Imran Khan is undergoing some very difficult times in Pakistan, isn't it? Dmitry Lugashov is commenting Levan, Hungary. Levan, Hungary. Ukrainians cut fuel, oil supplies, yes, to Hungary. Can it be repaired? As you know, I live in Budapest. Well, dear friend, I spoke about in today's first update that it was today, isn't it, that Hungary is no longer receiving oil from Russia through Ukraine because the Kyiv regime shut down that pipeline. And the Lukoil, Russian company, and the Hungarian companies, Hungarian partner of the Lukoil, are looking for alternative ways to deliver oil to Hungary, but it will take some time. It will take some time, and before these alternative ways will be found out, I'm afraid Hungary may experience some energy crisis. Some prices may go up, not just on fuel but also on everything, because that's how important energy, of course, is. So right now it seems like Kyiv regime is unwilling to communicate or cooperate with this on this topic. But maybe Budapest will impose some pressure on Kiev, and things will change. I don't think so, because, dear friends, one should notice that, in my personal opinion, Kiev acted under orders of the Western ruling class, Brussels or whomever, but I don't think they acted alone. This is sabotage against Hungary from Brussels. That's how I think. And they use Ukraine for this, because we all see on daily basis this assault on Hungary from Brussels, from a number of political leadership in EU member states. So it's a combined operation. We should see it this way, in my personal opinion. Nidish Kumar is commenting, Imran Khan party is officially banned by Pakistan government as a political party. Yes, I know about it. And Imran Khan just recently was cleared from some allegations, I believe, from 2 allegations. And I don't know if he's how many allegations are in force against him still. I can't remember now. And dear friends, how long? It's almost an hour, by the way, and I did not even went through some news. This is a quite interesting video, by the way. Let me do this way. This is a Russian Iskander missile strike on 2 military echelons of the Kyiv regime. And during this attack, according to reports that I see in Russian media, up to 250 military personnel of Kiev regime was neutralized, and there are up to 60 armored vehicles, military vehicles. So, and this is I can't even remember how many echelons, military echelons, already being destroyed by Russian forces, especially lately. Also, information that Benjamin Netanyahu will fly to United States on July 22nd, tomorrow, where he plans to meet with Joe Biden. The Israeli Prime Minister will also speak at the joint meeting of both House of the U.S. Congress, to the both House and Senate of the U.S. Also, interesting news that Russian troops took control over the village of Rozovka in LPR and Pishane in Kharkov region. I reported about Pishane this morning, that it was liberated by Russian forces, but at the time I didn't know about this another settlement, Rozovka. So this is Pishane, by the way, on Kupiansk direction, and this is Rozovka settlement. Every other day we have these reports, isn't it, that Russian troops are liberating this settlement and that settlement. And if you listen to Western TV channels or Western radio or if you read the Western media outlets, you will get you may get her feeling that it's a stalemate on the line of contact. There is no movement, nothing is happening. And Russia is struggling, while every single day, by the way, every single day or every other day, Russian troops are establishing control over their different settlements all along the line of contact. Oh, dear friends, I forget to check. Nothing here. In case you want to send a message or question that you want to be highlighted during the stream, of course you can do it through Boosty and donation alerts. And I have a commentary on donation alerts. John Seaton, thank you very much for your donation. Hello, Levan. I enjoyed your commentary from the unique Russian perspective. I would love to see you do questions occasionally with the people on the streets and their perspectives. Thanks, Levan. I'll try. I will think what I can do about it. Thank you for donation, John, and thank you for a question. I was asked quite a number of times to do street interviews with their people. I just don't know how to organize this, because in my opinion, it's better when you are just walking. It should be non-stop video, right? Because in that case, you know that this is, you will have no doubts that this is 100% real, because journalist is walking and asking one person, another, third, fourth. It's not a montage, because there is no cuts in the video. Like I do my updates, by the way. I do my updates with one cut, right? I start recording and that's it. When I finished, I finished. It's one video. And in my opinion, that's the way it should be done, so that there will be no questions about how real all that people and opinions and all that stuff is. But unfortunately, here in Russia, not everyone speaks English. I may go on the street and ask people to give me like short interview for question or two, and I'm afraid I don't know. Some people may say no just because they don't care. They are busy. They have no time for this, which is understandable, of course. Some people may even want to participate in an interview, but they don't speak English. And how long I will spend before I will find people that speak English? I mean, video will be like 2-3 hours long in that case or something. And therefore, because from technical point of view, I don't know how to do it without doing some montage. Therefore, I have not done nothing like that. But if you are doing cuts, by the way, then always someone gonna come and say, you know what, you were probably looking for these people all day and find like 5 or 10 people and that's it. So therefore, I'm not gonna believe you. You know that kind of people, isn't it? We can call it trolls or whatever, but there is always people that will doubt just about anything. So, I mean, I don't know how to do it. Just that's all really. In one cut, you know. If I was, for example, if I knew any people in one of the universities, then English language students, I could ask for short interviews with, for example, English language students, and that's a whole different story, right? There is a like that may be done, but yet again, I just don't know anybody in universities that can organize this. So it's all technical stuff, dear friend. I mean, it's easy to do on theoretically, but in practical terms, I just don't know how, you know. But idea of, I mean, it seems like yes, if I go through university and ask students, maybe that will work. I don't know. But I will think about it, you know, because it's from technical point of view. I mean, I can ask anybody for an interview, isn't it? Kiran Taker is commenting, it would work. I myself would love to hear from other Russians as well. Your fan base trust you will translate honestly. You want me to translate? I mean, I can do it. I mean, I can do it. Like interview 10-15 people. I mean, it's not a big deal, really, with couple of questions. So I will think about it, dear friends. I promise you, I will think about it. I have some plans, my schedule, but I will definitely think about it, and let's see what I can do. Let's continue with the news, and well, this is a video of strikes by Russian armed forces on point of concentration of Zelensky's regime's forces in the Kherson direction. It seems peaceful, and then all this stuff is happening, by the way. This is MLRS strike, I guess. Multi-launch rocket system strike. And dear friends, probably many of you see this video today on Telegram or on Twitter. I saw it first time this morning on Twitter or Twitter X. This video, it's a St. Petersburg and outside of one of the clubs, and something happened. According to some reports, this individual, this male, was harassing this young female, and look what she did. Just look what she did, man. And on Twitter X, there was many comments about it, but I saw some information on RT, and well, woman knocks down man harassing her outside of St. Petersburg's nightclub. The reasons for their conflict between the man and the woman are not reported. However, NTV, Russian TV station, yes, she is MMA. Jim Pasarotri commented now. So NTV writes that she knows how to handle herself as she's a Kempo MMA champion, by the way. So she is a proper fighter. And well, that's why she just this easily bumps butts and that's it. That guy will remember forever this this evening, man. And probably he deserved this. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he was acting irresponsibly. Maybe he said something inappropriate to her, and that's what you get when you act as you should not, in a way you should not. So, well done to her, by the way. And well, people went crazy, by the way, over this video on Twitter. There were so many comments and stuff. Also, information that the U.S. Department of Defense has awarded 1.45 billion contract to produce 9 E-2D Hawkeye tactical carrier-based radar detection aircraft for the U.S. and Japanese navies. The Pentagon said in a statement. So this type of planes will be built by military industrial complex, and of course, by the way, if those planes in reality cost maximum like 50 million, Pentagon will pay for it 250 million. If they cost I don't know, 100 million, they will pay like 3 times more. That's what Pentagon does, man. It's a money laundering scheme, isn't it? I mean, this information said 9. So each of these planes probably, not probably, but for sure costs some more than 100 million, right? 120, 130 million. And the real price probably is 50 million, as I said. Dave H is asking, aren't many of their countries that want to join BRICS plus trying to escape from SWIFT rather than de-dollarization? The SWIFT, aren't there many of their countries that want to join BRICS through trying to? Well, dear friend, the latest number is like 24 or 30 countries are applying right now to join BRICS. So number is big and this number is growing, but and I spoke about this topic in today's first update also, because Brazil now is lobbying Colombia to become a BRICS member state, and my personal take is that BRICS should be a little more careful with the expansion, because I believe there are some issues that needs to be resolved inside the BRICS right now, including creation of the alternative financial and banking system, alternative to the Western one, including alternatives to the SWIFT, so that not just the current BRICS member states will benefit from it, but also this another dozens and dozens of countries that will join organization. But right now, I mean, of course, no one is asking my opinion what the BRICS will do or not. They will decide it without me. But it seems to me there are many questions inside the BRICS right now that needs to be resolved before these additional countries will join. And number is big and growing, by the way. But let's first resolve whatever issues we have, and then think about receiving additional countries. That seems okay to me. Levan, what is your opinion about Pakistan government declaring Netanyahu as a terrorist? Well, I mean, Pakistani government and Turkish government are in quite similar situation, isn't it? They are actively cooperating, or used to cooperate with Israel, by the way. Maybe not openly, but and they were actively cooperating with their strategic partners of the Israel, US. But because they are part of Muslim world, of course, they have to react on what is going on in the Gaza Strip, what is going in the West Bank, because many people in the Muslim world, in my personal opinion, are seeing this conflict as a religious conflict. They see as Muslims being attacked. And if governments of those countries, even if Netanyahu, by the way, don't care about any religion, about any ethnicity at all, and probably he don't, right? So therefore, of course, Pakistani government and Turkish government have to react and be critical of actions of the Netanyahu's government. Even Jordan, by the way, was forced to make some strong statements at the time. But in my personal opinion, this is just political games. This is just political games, because I don't think Pakistani leadership really cares about anything except their own selves, their own interests. And when it comes to Turkey, Erdogan's policy was all about creating from Turkey one of the leaders of the Muslim world, right? As if modern Turkey is a reincarnation of the Ottoman Empire. And therefore, he has no option but to take a strong stand against Israeli actions. But I don't think many people in Muslim world are happy with their Erdogan, because they probably expected more for someone that her position is himself and his country as a leaders of the Muslim world. But Erdogan was very careful. And just recently, Turkey started cutting down on economical cooperation with Israel. So therefore, I think it's just political steps from Islamabad and Ankara. And if things further escalate in the Middle East, I don't think Pakistan and Turkey will get involved. Militarily speaking, they will just stay away. Whatever will take place in the Middle East. I think that's what is going on, really. And by the way, even though Jordanian leadership made quite strong statements about actions of Israel number of times, people in Jordan probably are very much upset with the royal family and government there. And I think it will not take long before Abdullah will lose his power and maybe even will be forced to run away from Jordan, so-called king there, and this we should always keep in mind that there is also this public pressure, isn't it? Public pressure on the political leadership to act, and expectations that they will act in a certain way, and therefore Egypt, Jordan, Turkey, Pakistan, being strategic partners of the US or client states of US, still are still making some not anti-Israeli, but statements against the actions of the Netanyahu's government, because one should distinguish. There is actions of Israeli government and there is Israel. Israel is there to. Israel is factual. It exists and will exist, and therefore, yes, Netanyahu and his government should be prosecuted for crimes, and all the war criminals from Israeli side, all the war criminals from side of Hamas, or whatever groups were conducting any war crimes and crimes against humanity. But eventually, if it's even possible, I don't know, man. Somehow people should start respecting each other and live in peace. I know it sounds like some fantasy because tensions are too high and it seems like people really hate each other there. But I mean, we all are human beings, for God's sake. How you can be full of hate towards other people, entire group of people, by the way. It's so nonsense. It's so crazy, man. But I guess in certain circumstances, that's how people start operating, with full hate, which is unfortunate. But to answer your questions, I think it's a political game on part of Islamabad and Ankara. That's all, really. Dmitry Lugashov is commenting, asking Brazil, how come BRICS accepts IPAC puppet president Lula? I'd have him removed. Oh, it's not up to BRICS, isn't it? It's Lula is the president of Brazil, and that's it. It's up to. That's what I like in BRICS, by the way, and I hope this principle will stay. When BRICS is not intervening in political games inside the countries, it's none of our business. It's up to Brazilians who will be president there. It's up to Chinese who will be leader in China. It's up to us, citizens of Russia, who will be Russian president, and same way. In every other country, we should respect this principle. And Brazil is a leading member of the BRICS. So whoever will be president there, of course, BRICS member states will respect Brazilian people, Brazilian society who choose to make this individual or that individual president to represent them. That's all, really. Yes, some leaders may complicate things, some leaders may make it easier, but we'll work it out. We will work it out, and Jampasa Rotary is commenting, Levan, why did China and Russia not experience their IT crash? Maybe because we are not really using that many software from Windows. Our companies, by the way, this IT crash was mainly issue for corporations, right? Ordinary notebooks that have Windows didn't experience nothing. It was a issue for corporations, and Russian and Chinese companies are using their own software, I guess. That's the reason. I guess there were some companies here in Russia or in China that maybe experienced some difficulties, but majority, like here in Russia, no banks, no airports, some strategical infrastructure was stopped. I mean, everything was operating like always, as usual. And I guess same was in China, but main reason is that our companies use their own software and not really are dependent so much on a Western one. Although, of course, Windows is actively used in Russia also, but not in a way that it is the case in West. That's the only reason, by the way. There is no secrets there. Many leaders of the Russian businesses come out straight away when this IT crash happened and say that Russian citizens have no reason to worry because Russian companies are operating on a different basis. So Deadly 0101 is asking, I agree, expand too quick, it will fail BRICS. Yes, I have very same understanding. It's better to organize right now to resolve whatever issues may be inside the BRICS at this moment. Let's create alternative to the SWIFT, alternative financial and banking system in general, alternative to the Western one. better prepare foundation and then receive more and more members so that you are ready, and they are, meanwhile they will get ready even more for becoming a part of this foundation for the emerging multipolar world. Really, there is no need to rush. Why? Oh, Michael Kennedy is commenting that it was a crash in Windows 10. Francis Sanchez is commenting, so it should be every country should have their own operating system. Yes, maybe that, or maybe we should never allow these giant monopolies to exist, like Microsoft, so that whenever some difficulties will emerge in that company, world will not go down same time. So if Microsoft was, for example, not one company, but 20 other companies that are competing with each other, I guess all 20 companies will create some, maybe not all 20, but like at least 5 or 10 of them will create alternative softwares that will do this job no any worse than other one. And therefore, if one of the software will experience difficulties, another 5 will continue to work. Right? Maybe this is the option, because I'm all for free market, but I don't think we should ever allow multinational corporations to exist at all, because they are becoming too big, too powerful, and they are threat to all of us, in my personal opinion. If we are talking about democracy, if we are talking about our right to delegate to the certain people rights to govern, then if we are simultaneously allowing these immensely powerful multinational corporations to exist, then are we sure that we are stronger than they are? That we are more, as a people, as a citizens, we are more influential than they? For example, take a look at the BlackRock. They are operating with trillions, by the way, trillions. They have funds that majority of these countries have no GDP of that volume. So can you imagine real influence of the BlackRock, for example, when they go into some country, I don't know, in South America, or they went in Ukraine, right? And some people are saying that they own Ukraine. That Kiev regime sold whatever they can to sell to BlackRock and some other corporations. So they should never be allowed to exist in the first place, in my opinion. And it's all about free economy, free market, because once these corporations are existing, they are killing competition, right? They are killing small businesses, small and medium businesses, by the way. So it's if we are for a free market, we should never allow these giants to exist in the first place. And dear friends, this update is already 1.5 hours. That's the post that I was talking about, by the way, that Bangladeshi opposition asks US to this is the letter, by the way, from Tariq Rahman. And just look these tags, by the way. First is the State Department, then Blinken. Is it then UK? Is it suspicious? Yes, it is. And this Tariq Rahman is a London-based acting president of the Bangladesh Nationalist Party. And he is openly calling for US and UK, first of all, to get involved and, Is it an indicator that US and UK were involved in this disturbances in Bangladesh from very beginning, or secret services of the UK and the US? I guess so. Then I shared today's update from New Atlas, a great channel, of course, great channel that is run by Brian Berletic. Then some videos about Russian airstrikes. Also interesting news that Northern Macedonia's largest ethnic Albanian political party, the Democratic Union for Integration, has reportedly turned to international experts to draft a new proposal for Albanian majority regions in the country. The proposed draft is to be modeled after similar regional arrangements as seen in Belgium and the Northern Ireland. Basically, Albanian minority in Macedonia wants to gain autonomy at this stage. And well, because separatist movement was welcomed by NATO when they recognized Kosovo, and not just recognized but supported. Well, I don't think how this separatist movement can be stopped now in Macedonia, and unfortunately, sometime in the future, most likely, Macedonia will lose some territories to ethnic Albanians. It is what it is. Vladimir Zelensky has started speaking about the possibility of negotiations with Russia, Russian representatives, on ending the conflict in Ukraine, despite their previously imposed ban on negotiations with Moscow. Interesting, isn't it? Interesting. Many media outlets reported about it today, that Nitish Kumar is commenting, opposition party in Bangladesh is a Pakistani party. Some of them who supported Bangladesh genocide in 1971. Why am I not surprised, Nitish? I'm not surprised at all. Links to be there between this Pakistani Bangladeshi opposition and Pakistan. Not surprised at all. That's why I'm saying, by the way, people should always think many times before they will start acting on something and starting demonstrating and demanding this and that. They should think, are their actions really helping, or your actions are destructive, your actions being used by some third parties for their own interests, not for you, not for your people, not for your country, but for their own interests. People should always think about it. There are so many examples worldwide, isn't it? But still, people are getting into this trap time after time after time after time, which is really sad, man. Really sad. Oh, dear friends, let me check once again. And I will go through. Then I shared, by the way, update from Alexander Mercuris. Today's update, host of Duran Show, of course. Then video about destruction of US-made M777. This is not. And also, by the way, Mayor of Kiev. Nowadays, by the way, we all get used to this type of videos, isn't it? When all sorts of Western military equipment is destroyed. So therefore, I do time to time share videos on my Telegram, but I mean, because it's informative video, right? It's still factual information, but yes, we just get used to this type of videos. And the mayor of Kiev, by the way, Klitschko, made a statement today that referendum should take place in Ukraine on topic of negotiations with Russia. Oh, Jerry, hello Jerry. Jerry Cogan is here. Ruth Greening is here, by the way, also. Michael Kennedy. Thank you all, dear friends, for participating. Oh. I am delighted that Biden has officially withdrawn from the presidential race. However, his replacement will be just as bad, I fear. Thank you very much for your donation, Jerry, and for your comment. Hardly anyone will disagree with you. Kamala Harris is that's what Biden endorsed, isn't it? And Kamala Harris, I don't know about her. But she has no chances anyway. She has no chances anyway, and therefore, Democrat establishment probably will use her as a kind of sparring partner for Biden. Oh, unfortunately, internet is. Am I online even? I don't know. Oh, I am. So, yes, I guess Kamala is just a sparring partner for Trump, because they know no matter who they're gonna put against Trump, they're gonna lose. So they will save Michelle Obama or Gavin Newsom for next elections. And yes, Mayor of Kiev Klitschko stated that referendum should take place in Ukraine, and people should be asked about negotiations with Russia, because especially if these negotiations or ending of the hostilities will mean losing territories for Kiev. Well, let them do referendum. Let them do referendum. But at this point, by the way, Kiev regime is in chaos. They are panicking. They don't know what to do, and things will only deteriorate for them, as I said many times before. And also, by the way, this interesting picture. This is two U.S. B-52, strategic bombers over the Finland, escorted by fighter jet. This fighter jet looks like Saab. Hard to tell, really. But anyways, these two B-52s were spotted today, and earlier Russian MiG-29 and MiG-31 interceptors, fighter jets, intercepted these bombers over the Barents Sea when they were approaching or closing into Russian border. Probably these 52s were conducting exercises in the launching of cruise missiles. In Finland, some relatively large-scale military exercises are taking place right now, including on Russian border, and probably this flight of these B-52s were part of these exercises, maybe. And well, this is it. Then I started my live stream. So we had a good conversation, isn't it, dear friends? Maybe not many of us, maximum like 70, 75 of us were on a stream. And well, I don't know. Maybe I made the right decision, that I will no longer make these informal talks or community chats for Wednesdays, only Sundays, because I mean, I don't know. But in any case, by the way, I'm extremely grateful for your attention. Even if only 10 of us will be on one of the live streams on next Sunday, for example, I will still make the live stream. But on Wednesdays, I will stop, because Nidish Kumar is commenting, 100 are on the stream. I see just 42, by the way, here. I see just 42. But anyways, dear friends, as I said in the beginning, next week or maybe week after, I will try to do second live streams during the daytime from 2 to 5 o'clock. And if maybe that will be, maybe that will help project little better. I don't know. Let's see. Anyways, I'm extremely grateful for your attention, dear friends. These talks, by the way, these friendly talks are priceless, really, and this exchange of opinion is great. So I'm truly grateful to all of you for your comments, for your questions. We may agree sometime, we may disagree, but it's okay. It's okay. Why should we always be agree? I mean, we all are humans after all, and different people. So thank you all. I will end this live stream now, if I may, and see you tomorrow. Bye for now.